cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut.
Today's episode is brought to you by ETB Games. ETB Games is, of course, our locals in Alexandria, Louisiana. They are our one-stop shop for all of our card game needs. They have singles and sealed product for the games that you love, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon. Of course, you can also find the accessories that you need, such as sleeves, binders, playmats, and more. And if you're into D&D, well, they have all of your D&D figurines, the paint for the figurines, dice, books, and anything that you would need to play. So be sure to check out ETB Games. There's a link in the description down below. And now, back to today's episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. My name is Sunny. I am here with my co-host, Caleb.
Hello.
And of course, before we get too far in, we want to thank all of our wonderful sponsors. So a huge thank you, of course, to ETB Games in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as, of course, Steelfox Games in Shreveport. We also want to thank Gem Accessories and encourage you to check out our Dragon Shield affiliate link in the description down below. Just click it before you shop. Costs you nothing extra to support the podcast for products you might already be buying. Also, of course, we would love for you to check out our Patreon if you are so inclined. You get an extra episode every single week on Wednesdays. And of course, you get early access to every episode. Now, you get early access in even the lowest $1 tier. So if you are interested in getting that early access, all it costs is $1 a month. That's only $12 a year. And it also lets you get your name in the episodes. So now the extra episode a week is in the $5 tier. But
That sounds like a real good deal.
I think it is, personally. But I also understand that budgets are sometimes tight.
Yeah.
And regardless, we appreciate you being here and listening to the podcast. So with that said, let's go ahead and get on into today's episode. So we have a ton of new cards to cover. We're going to go through them kind of quick because we also want to do some nice little mailbag questions.
Yes.
Because I forgot that there was like a bunch of new cards when I went for a mailbag question.
A whole bunch of them.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start with some new Rescue Ace cards. These are coming out in Duelist Nexus, which is the set that comes out here in August. So to tackle the crisis, they've got two new cards to put out the flames. Rescue Ace Preventer, level 8 Fire Machine Effect Monster. 2800 attack, 2800 defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. 1. You can banish one Rescue Ace card from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. 2. If you control another Rescue Ace monster, quick effect. Or you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, change it to face down defense position. 3. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Rescue Ace monsters except a level 8 monster, special summon it. That's really good.
Yeah.
I think that the Rescue Ace cards have some really, really, really cool, I'm not going to say loops, but like resource loops, right? And
Yeah.
I think that this deck has a ton of potential.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, let's see what their other card does. It's just called Emergency. Quick play spell. It is always treated as a Rescue Ace card, so it is searchable. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. 1. Special summon a Rescue Ace monster from your deck in defense position. Then tribute a Rescue Ace monster from your hand or field. 2. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a Rescue Ace, trap in your grave, set it.
That's really good.
That is E-Telly with extra steps.
I mean, it's E-Telly, but better in a lot of ways, to be honest with you.
Like the only limitation is that with E-Telly, if you top deck it and that's all you have access to, it's usable. This, unfortunately, if you just top deck in that kind of situation, you activate it, you'll bring out the Rescue Ace monster and you have to tribute it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't remember what every single Rescue Ace card does, but some of them, depending on what they do in the graveyard, it might be worth it.
Yeah, they can probably play off of that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's really just E-Telly, but it's an archetypal E-Telly.
Yeah, with extra effects in the graveyard. Like I said, I think that the deck has some really, really cool and interesting resource loops, and I would really love to see what some of the more brainiac deck builders come up with this deck.
Oh yeah.
All right, next we have Little Opposition. This is a normal trap card, also from Dune. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. 1. Choose 2 unused main monster zones in the same column. Apply this effect, then your opponent can apply it for themselves. Special summon 1 level 2 or lower monster from your hand or deck to your chosen zone in attack position or face down defense position. Interesting. So in theory, you can just summon out a Sprite Blue out of your deck.
Yeah, and then your opponent, then you just stare at your opponent as they have no level 2 or unders in their entire deck.
Right.
Which
That's
is
kind of crazy.
yeah. Too bad it's a trap card.
Yeah.
But wait,
Thank goodness it's a trap card though.
wait, it's a normal trap.
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah, still.
Could you imagine if Sprite Labyrinth was the wave?
Oh my god. Next up we have Agnanimal Candle. It's adorable. Fire
It is.
Pyro Tuner effect monster, level 4, 1700 attack, 0 defense, so it's not a rekindling target. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. If this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it, special summon it. 2. Once per chain, up to thrice per turn, if a monster is sent to your graveyard, you increase or reduce this card's level by 1.
They've been adding thrice per turn lately.
Not only that, this Hita, the new fire channeler,
Mm-hmm.
plus Volcanic Shell. Pitch Shell and Channeler, search this dude, which then immediately special summons itself. Effect a Shell, which summons another copy of Shell by banishing it, huh?
You just pay 500 life points.
Yeah, there you go. Get another one.
I don't think you banish. I'm pretty sure you don't.
Yeah. So then use it to get another one. That's a level 6 synchro by itself.
Yeah.
With literally 2 cards in hand. You just which is wild.
Yeah. This is potentially an extremely good card. All right. Next we have a Click and Echo, also adorable. Water Sea Serpent effect monster, level 2, 300 attack, 2100 defense. Cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, or Xyz summon. You can only use the second effect of this card's name up to twice per turn.
Ooh.
1. If this face-up card on the field cannot be tributed. Okay.
Man.
Lots of restrictions on this card. Wow.
Well, it also protects it from Nibiru, hilariously.
It does. That's really funny.
But then, like if you summon this thing and then your opponent goes to nib, you get to keep it.
That's very funny. 2. If this card on the field is sent to the graveyard as link material, special summon it to the summoning player's opponent's field in defense position. 3. If this card was special summoned by its second effect, you must keep your hand revealed. So, if you're tracking, this card caught me very off guard at first. I didn't quite understand what it meant.
Yeah.
So basically, normal summon Deep Sea Diva, summon this.
Link 2
into just to say, Sprite Sprint. Activate Click and Echo,
which then summons to your opponent's field.
Right, summon itself to your opponent's field. Activate its effect. Your opponent has to then play with their hand revealed
For as long as they control it.
Yes.
However, on the back end, if your opponent then links it off, it gets summoned to your field, and then you get the effect.
Yep.
And then you play with your hand reveal until you link 2. But then you can also just make IP Masquerena.
And it is a particularly difficult card to get rid of.
Because it just keeps summoning itself over and over.
No, I mean, if you're in a deck that doesn't play generic link monsters, it is a difficult card to get off your field.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Because a lot of link monsters are like, oh, it has to be 2 archetypes or something. This guy's like,
I mean, I know in Sword Soul, I can't do anything with this card.
yeah. So it would just sit there clogging up a zone.
Yeah, and it can't be used as fusion, synchro, or Xyz summon material.
Yeah, and you can't tribute over it.
Right, exactly.
Which is why you can't use it as tribute. So that we can't just tribute
Tribute it away, yeah.
Not tribute driver over it. You have to link it. That's funny.
Yeah. All right. Next we have yet another card from Dune.
Yeah. Uruka the Magic Star, level 4 Wind Beast effect monster, 1500 attack, 400 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Oh, excuse me. 1. When one monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect and no other cards, you can banish the card from your hand or graveyard. Special summon that monster if it was banished faced up or in the graveyard. Otherwise, special summon this banished card. 2. If this card is special summoned, you can make it gain 1500 attack until the end of next turn.
I think that card is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
It's like, oh, what's that? You're gonna pop my dude with Baron? Oh well, I'm summoning it back.
Yeah. Hilariously, even if they even they activate I don't know, something to banish it face down.
You still at least get this guy, and he's 3K.
Yeah, he's 3K until the end of your opponent's turn, and he's a level 4.
I don't know. I feel like there's something that card could be playable in Tri Brigade for sure.
Oh yeah, no, because he's a beast. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
part of the beast type.
Yep, and he can
Tri-Beast.
summon himself in theory.
Yeah.
All right, next we have yet another Dune card. This is a Pod of Greed.
There's always a cost to doing business.
This is such a fun game or a fun card because it looks like the Pot of Greed guy, but sitting inside of like a jar because it's like a level 3 Earth Rock flip effect monster, like jar of
Yeah.
like morphing jar,
cyber jar, fiber
right,
jar.
exactly. So it looks kind of like those, but it's like inside
Yeah.
the what is that, Pot of Riches or Pot of?
No, it's not.
It's just a new pot.
Yeah.
But it's like a jar.
It's
a pod.
Yeah. I think it's a jar with the monster that Pot of Greed is based on was like made to resemble inside of it.
Yeah. All right, level 3 Earth Rock Flip Effect monster, 700 attack, 800 defense. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. Flip. Apply these effects in sequence.
Oh.
Excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. Up to the number of cards your opponent controls. Add 1 excavated card to your hand. Also send the rest to the graveyard. Send monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard up to the number of monsters special summoned from the extra deck but your opponent controls.
Huh. So you do this and you just send like an Entis, Wind Pegasus, Fossil Warrior.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of pops and spins for free. Too bad it's on a flip monster.
Yeah.
Like, they would need an entire archetype whose whole shtick is just setting putting flip monsters face down and immediately flipping them.
Yeah, good thing there's
Good thing that doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
And never will exist, because that's awful.
Yeah, Guru is terrible. Yeah, it's a good thing Guru.
I don't know what you're talking
it's
about.
a good thing Guru doesn't exist.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What's Guru? You're just making stuff up off the fly now. Okay, this bit's getting
Yeah.
old.
All right, next we have, what is this? Another Dune card? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
another Dune card. You got it?
Yeah. Oh boy. So it's Eternal Ice Grave, the Ice Jade epilogue. That does not bode well for the Ice Jade.
No, it doesn't.
Quick play spell. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. 1. During the main phase. If a monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's monster's effect, except by being destroyed, activate 1 of these effects in the main phase, or skip the main phase 1 of your opponent's next turn. Or in this main phase. So if your
That's
opponent
interesting.
So if your opponent's monsters bounces or removes a monster off your field without destroying it.
Yes, which is getting more and more common these days.
I mean, Zeus does it.
Sure.
You just skip their main phase 1 or skip this or into this main phase, which in the case of ending their main 1, wouldn't that just force them into battle?
They have a choice. They can either go into battle or go straight to the end phase.
Okay, but the phase is ending. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can skip their main phase 1, which would then either make them go draw, standby, battle, or end.
Correct. Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
That's certainly interesting. Yeah. No, I was like just staring at the card, like trying to process what is going on in this
Artwork. Well, we have yet another Dune card, Aqua Round. This is a normal spell. Banish 1 card from your hand, and if you do, during your next standby phase, you can add up to 2 cards with the banished name from your deck to your hand. If this card is activated while your opponent controls no cards, you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the banished card's original name for the rest of this turn.
Okay.
Interesting. Banish 1 card from your hand if you do. During your next standby phase, you can add 2 cards with the same name. What would be really nifty is if you could use this to add cards whose effects don't activate.
I mean,
to summon themselves, like cards that just summon themselves without starting a chain.
maybe. Well, maybe.
It's a weird one. I feel like there's definitely a there's something here, right?
Definitely. Well, yeah, there's something here, but I can't think of it. It's interesting to say the least.
My brain's too small.
Yeah. Next up we have Kiribon. Your number's up, pal. It is a continuous trap card. 1. If 10 or more cards and/or effects have been activated this turn. So, double Nibiru, but it's effects.
Which
as
is
well.
a very, very doable number.
Oh yeah, no, because like because like then like just normal summoning one of those cards that normal summon and then searches is 2. Because it's a summon and then an effect.
No.
If I'm reading it.
Cards or effects.
Or effects.
It doesn't count summons.
Got it. Yeah.
It just counts cards and effects.
So when this condition is met, special summon this card as an effect monster. Cyber Stark, level 10, 3000 attack and defense. It is also still a trap.
And it's big.
Yeah. If summoned this way during your end phase, set this card into your spell and trap zone. 2. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect while this card is in the monster zone, quick effect, destroy as many cards they control as possible, and then set this card into your spell and trap zone.
This is so funny. This is like, it's like, all right, you activated 10, you're done. Do another one, and I'm blowing you up.
Well, no, because it only needs to do the 10 to become a monster card.
Yeah.
And then you can just go, cool, new chain, quick effect. And then it goes back to being set again.
I guess if you do it, I guess if you do it as Chain Link 2, then you could do that.
So, I mean,
you would have to time it correctly, but that's just something about control decks. You just have to know how to structure your chain links and time things correctly.
Well, it's also activated, so like if your opponent's just going through and as soon as they activate the 10th card, you can chain this and it becomes a monster. And then once that chain has resolved, you can go, cool.
New chain,
pop it, boom.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, that's enough summoning for you this turn. That's enough activating effects. We're going to clean this thing up and you're going to back off.
Something else you can do is wait until you're like you sit there and counting and your opponent is like, okay, cool, enter battle, go to swing, flip it. If they've already done 10 and now they got a 3k wall they got to get past.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool card no matter what.
And then during your end phase, you fire off its other effect to nuke everything to set it back, or even just let it pass back and you swing with it.
Yeah, I think it's a very cool card.
Oh, definitely. It's got a lot of potential.
All right, next we have another Dune card, Singing Cuckoo. So,
Cuckoo.
Level 3 Fire Winged Beast effect monster, 800 attack, 1000 defense. You can only use this card's name's effect once per turn. 1 during your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Destroy this card, then draw one card. Discard one card, then draw one card. Draw one card during the end phase of this turn. Interesting.
No, this card's name is a reference to a story about Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu, the three great unifiers of Japan who ended the Sengoku era of Japan, characterizing differences in their personalities and policies. And they have like the entire actual story that they were just discussing. Nobunaga, so the three were watching a cuckoo bird, waiting for it to sing. One sing. Nobunaga said, "Little bird, if you don't sing, I will kill you." Hideyoshi says, "Little bird, if you don't sing, I'll make you sing." And then Tokugawa says to the bird, "Little bird, if you don't sing, I will wait for you to sing." Basically, Nobunaga does things violently. Hideyoshi forces, which is destroy. Hideyoshi forces things, discard, and Tokugawa waits, which is the draw at the end phase.
Okay, but since you read all of that, I'm reading the next card too.
I mean, sure.
That was too much.
But it's so cool.
It's not. I just can't. I can't bring myself to like.
I think it's cool when the
I hate all those little translation things.
When the card's mechanics tell a story.
I mean, like, I can appreciate the sentiment behind it. All I care about is what the card does.
I mean, I care too, but then also, it's like, here's why it does what it does. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I don't know. Next we have these. Okay, so these cards are the Cyberstorm Access World Premiere cards. So
these are TCG exclusives, correct?
yes, these are all
Heck yeah.
cards that will be TCG exclusive in Cyberstorm Access, which the sneak peek for is this coming weekend.
Yes.
So first we have Moisa Knight, the Comet General, light, level 1, 100 attack, 100 defense, warrior pendulum effect monster, scale 11, pendulum effect. If you pendulum summon a monster or monsters, place this card either on the top or bottom of your deck. Monster effect. When you draw this card, you can reveal it. During the main phase this turn, you can conduct one pendulum summon of a monster from your hand in addition to your pendulum summon. You can only gain this effect once per turn. Interesting. So it lets you have... It lets you have an additional pendulum summon from your hand.
But only from your hand.
Yeah, but it's still broken.
Oh, absolutely. Interesting. Next up we have Golden Cloud Beast Malong, level 6, light. Dragon Synchro Tuner, because they didn't list it here, for oddly enough.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay, weird. They put light. It's weird. Light, level 6, 2200 attack, 1000 defense, Dragon Synchro Tuner effect. Materials is a tuner plus one or more non-tuners, generic.
Yep.
If this card is special summoned, you can increase or decrease its level by 1. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a face card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Also, each time it is special summoned, you can bump its level up or down 1. So when you make it, you can increase or decrease level by 1. Let's say you then send it to the graveyard and bring it back. Its effect activates again. You can increase or decrease it by 1 again. So every single time you special summon it, you can increase or decrease its level by 1.
Well, yeah, but like...
That could be pretty good.
It's always either going to be 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah.
So, next we have Imperial Princess Quincurry. Dark, rank 5, 1200 attack, 2800 defense, Cybers Exceeds effect monster, 2 level 5 monsters. You can attach one material from this card, then target one level 5 monster in either graveyard. Special summon it to either field. If a face-up level 5 monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, while you control this monster, you can add to your hand or special summon one level 5 monster from your deck. You can only use each effect of Imperial Princess Quincurry once per turn.
Level 5 toolbox? Question mark?
Anyway.
Trying to bring back Tyrus and Adrius, I guess. Next up we have Pendulum Pendant. Normal spell. Banish 5 face-up pendulum monsters from your extra deck. Place 1 pendulum monster from your deck or face-up extra deck in your pendulum zone. Banish 5 face-up in your extra deck. Place 1 from your deck or face-up extra deck into your pendulum zone. Okay. Weird. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one card in any pendulum zone, reduces pendulum scale by 1, minimum 0. Okay.
I don't think it'll be used, but it strikes me as just the kind of card that a pendulum deck would be like, and now I run this 38th brick so that I can pull off my perfect combo.
Yeah.
All right, and my favorite card out of all of these.
Oh,
how
easily.
did I get here?
I love
with
this.
Warrior Digrapher,
Yeah, he's like in the village of the Six Samurai.
I think it's just a Japanese village.
But no, isn't that dude the
I don't think it is.
No, like he's the dude who's like with the I'm trying to think of the name of the card. That's like the cart. The dude in the cart. He's this old Six Samurai card.
No.
He was like their second tuner because their first one was a monkey.
I don't know.
Ah.
Anyway, how did I get here? Normal trap card. If a monster you control is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect, place face up in your field zone one field spell from your deck with a different name than the cards in the field zones. Then reveal 5 monsters from your deck that can be special summoned with different names from each other. Your opponent randomly picks one for you to special summon. Also shuffle the rest into your deck. You can only activate one how did I get here per turn. That's funny.
Bro.
That has a lot of conditions, but if it goes off, it's really good.
Yeah, that's like terraforming and
Painful Choice.
Painful Choice rolled into one card.
Almost, yeah.
but as a trap card, and that's where it fails.
So we do have a couple of rarities that we'll mention here for Syac that you can look out for this weekend. We have a couple of Starlight rares. We mentioned Vista Starfrost on the last episode. Also, Despian Luluwalilith is a Starlight.
Okay.
One of the secret rares, Firewall Dragon Singularity. A couple of Ultras, Numbers Evil, Super Heavy Samurai Brave, Musurawo. And Teller Knight Constellar Caduceus. Some super rares, Dreaming Numerilia. Teller Knight Alteran, Goran Sulfur Coolea, Signet Rollback, Constellar Teller Knights. And then more rarity spoilers. Some more. Okay, so we have all the secret rares actually.
Okay, cool.
Guiding Quem the Virtuous. Sumaha Katsunagi, the Lord of Swords, Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, Vicious Astrolaud, which Vicious Astrolaud is part of the Manadarium, Manadium archetype. It was Manadome, now it's Manadium.
Yeah.
Despian Luluwalilith is a secret rare in addition to a Starlight. Chaos Angel, Singularity, Peaceful Planet Calarium, which is the planet for Manadome.
Yeah.
Gold Pride, Rollerballer, and Gold Pride Better Luck Next Time are both secret rares.
God.
The ultra rares, the Numbers Evil, like I said, Ice Jade, Ran, Azurin, Manadium, Room Heart, Ringo Worm, the Dragon Guarding the 100 Apples. Wow, Ringo Worm is an ultra. That's the one that everybody was saying was like broken. The Super Heavy Samurai Brave, Musurawu, Bestial Dispater, Manadium Prime Heart, Teller Knight, the Libermancer Origin Story, Gold Pride's Pinballer, that came out of nowhere, and Chariot Carrier, all ultras. So 3 ultras and 2 secrets just out of the Gold Pride stuff. And we're missing a couple of the ultra rares. The super rares, the new Super Heavy Samurai Prodigy Wakushi is a super rare. So really, the Super Heavy Samurai cards, there's another one here that's a super rare. I'm not going to read all the super rares, but 2 of the Super Heavy Samurais are a super rare, and there's 1 ultra. So
yeah, and I think
that makes Super Heavy Samurai, which is one of the best decks of the next format, very affordable.
Probably. We've seen expensive supers before. However, the big one is, I don't remember which one it was. It was the one with who was playing the flute.
Susanoo?
No.
The synchro?
No, it wasn't a synchro.
Oh.
Yeah, if that one was I think the big one that was really going to let them play.
Oh, I don't know. Is it a new card?
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably Wakushi. I think Wakushi is the one you're talking about.
Probably, yeah, it might be Wakushi.
Which is the super.
Yeah. So, well, maybe we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you say we go ahead and get into the mailbag questions?
Heck yeah.
All right. So, let me find where the top is. What do you think about Konami splitting up spell trap searches in archetypes? So
I think we already answered that one a long time ago.
Do you think more decks at the same power level as tier would be a good thing or a bad thing?
It depends. If they're all at the same time, whatever. Because then it's just a free-for-all.
Yeah, I guess. I would venture to say it's a bad thing just because I don't think that a game where everything is as powerful as tier limit is just not sustainable in my opinion.
No, not at all. Because where do you go from there?
Right. All right. How much do you think Tyler the Great Warrior will go for?
I really believe it'll probably end close. I don't know what it is now. I haven't looked at it.
160.
160. Probably. I think it'll
160,000. Right?
Yeah. I think it'll probably end at about 200. Around 200.
I think it's just getting started. Honestly, there's 6 days left, and
yeah.
A lot of the real bidders aren't even gonna look at it until there's like an hour or 2 left.
That's fair.
In the last hour or 2, I think it's going to skyrocket up north of like 300, 350. I think it could push Black Lotus, honestly. I think it could push 500,000.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Can you randomly talk about insert support here so that they can be brought into existence? No.
You'd have to be like more specific. Like
No. They said the exact archetype.
Oh.
but I didn't want to speak it into existence.
Oh, hold on. Let me lean over and see what it is. I'm not going to say it. I want to see what it is. No.
No, I don't like that deck. I'm not going to speak it into existence. And if you want to know what deck we're talking about, tune in to the Discord.
Yeah.
Can you randomly talk about blank support so they get more brought into existence? No.
No.
No. I'm not going to talk about the support of your archetype so it gets brought into existence because I don't like this archetype and I don't want that. So, because I am a terrible person. And if you want to see exactly what archetype they wanted their support for, then join our Discord server and you can find out yourself. All right. Can you explain the damage step?
That's an entire episode in it. That's probably 2 episodes in and of itself.
Yeah. Okay. We will do a short little walkthrough of the flowchart.
Okay.
Boy, what a flowchart it is. Okay. So, you have an open game state. Wait, hold on, wait. This is not the damage step.
That's the full turn.
This is also the full turn. Okay. So, the battle phase breaks into start step, battle step, damage step, and then end step. So the battle phase is split up into 4. You have this, like I said, it's the start step. Battle step is where you declare battle and stuff. Damage step is where everything is calculated and effects are applied, and then you have the end step. So past that, in the damage step, you have
Jesus Christ.
yeah, it's not loading though, which is annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can get the page to load. All right, you have start of damage step, which is where you declare that you are entering the damage step. And if anything that says at the start of damage step applies here. After start of damage step, you have before damage calculation, which is where anything that says before damage calculation applies. If a monster is being attacked face down, this is when it's flipped face up. Then cards or effects that modify attack and defense can activate. If the monster has a trigger effect that activates by being flipped face up, it does not activate here. Then you perform damage calc. So cards or effects that activate during damage calc activate and resolve, then damage calc is performed. Compare attack and defense, apply damage to life points. Determine whether either monster will be destroyed by battle or not, but do not send it to the graveyard yet. And any effects that activate during damage calculation is here. After damage calculation, effects that activate as a result of battle happen here. Trigger effects that activate by being flip face up of monsters flip face up before damage calculation. Their flip effects activate after damage calculation. A monster that was determined to be destroyed is still not sent to the graveyard yet. Okay, what effects can happen now? Effects that activate when this card battles or attacks or is attacked. Effects that activate when battle damage is inflicted or when you take battle damage. Flip effects. Effects that activate after damage calc. And effects that activate when this card is flip face up. And the end of damage step. If a monster was determined to be destroyed by the battle during damage calc, sent to the graveyard first. Then effects that activate when a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard activate now. Then if all effects activates, resolves, and you would end the damage step, effects that apply until the end of the damage step finish. Effects that activate when a monster is destroyed by battle happen here. Effects that activate when a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard happen here. Effects that activate when a monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sent to the graveyard happen here. Did that answer your question? Did that do it?
I hope so.
Did that explain the damage step good enough for you? If not, use Google, because that's all I did.
Yeah.
What is one card you want on the upcoming ban list to be removed from the ban list and one card you want banned?
I kind of want to see Blaster come back. Come back to 1.
He did in the OCG or on Master Duel or one of them.
Yeah. As far as actually banned, my number 1 hit at the moment, and even then, it's kind of cool if it does. If it doesn't, whatever, is Diablosis.
Yeah, I would really like to see Diablosis banned, and I wouldn't mind Blaster coming back, but
Yeah.
my biggest one is I want to see Wind Up Hunter banned and Wind Up Carry Zenmaid come back.
I can also 100% agree with this.
Because I think Zenmaid is a cool card and the thing that makes Wind-Ups playable.
Oh, yeah.
How much did you enjoy the ulti I sent you? I enjoyed it a lot. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I appreciate you. And you have one of the best patron names. Craziest tech card that you've had used against you in a duel.
Galaxy. No. It wasn't Galaxy. It was Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon.
Oh,
The ritual.
Yeah. Or was it Googly Eyes Drum Dragon or something?
No. Googly Eyes Jump Dragon is an Xyz.
Oh, okay.
It's an old Xyz.
I don't know why that one popped into my head.
Yeah, no. It's so I was playing a Labyrinth and he added it to his hand and I was like, oh, let me read that. I've never seen this card before and I read it and I was like, oh, that's what that does. Okay. And he basically what it does is on summon, it immediately bounces all back row back to the hand, and no back row can be activated in response to that effect.
Oof.
So, yes, when he then immediately followed that up with activating Drytron Nova, they're the ritual spell for them.
Mm-hmm.
I went, uh-oh. Time to start flipping.
In order, what do you believe are the worst floodgates?
So I believe that possibly the worst, well, your definition of worst, as in, if you mean most powerful, right now is probably Gozen Match. And of course that'll change depending upon the meta. Like, in a year from now, people are like, why Gozen Match? Everyone's on single attribute decks anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like Gozen Match, Tikaboo, Rivalry. I'm trying to think of what else.
So I kind of put floodgates into tiers.
Fair enough.
Because I think there's different kinds of floodgates, and some of them are inherently stronger and worse.
Yeah.
So lingering floodgates to me are the worst because
Once they've activated, that's it.
yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. So things like
Lancia, Droll,
Abyss Dweller, D-Barrier, Harpy's Featherstorm, things like that all go up here in this top tier of floodgate that to me is completely bannable. The second tier is cards like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Tikaboo, there can be only one. Rivalry.
That is Tikaboo.
Tikaboo, Rivalry, Gozen. All fall in right here.
Anti-Spell.
Well, and to me, those three in particular are exceptionally egregious because of the way that they function, and they prevent you from attempting to do something also.
Fair.
And then you have basically every other floodgate that's just a continuous floodgate that sits on the field. So you have your Skill Drain, your Anti-Spell Fragrance, your Imperial Iron Wall, Jinzo, Macro, whatever, all of these.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these sit in this third tier to me.
Where would Token Collector go?
Token Collector would go...
For you, probably in that first tier.
No, it goes in the third tier.
Okay, about to say, for you, it probably goes in that first tier where it needs to be banned.
No, realistically, it goes in the third tier. It's an annoying card for sure.
Yeah.
And it's such an incredibly specific card. But realistically, it does go in that third tier. I think, though, that in my opinion, the thing that makes the cards in the first two tiers bannable is in the top tier, you have something that if you don't respond to it immediately, you lose.
Yeah.
If in the second tier, those cards functionally, they don't really function in a really sensible way. And I think it becomes kind of a rulings conundrum.
So, for example, if you're new to the game and you hear Gozen Match, I can only control one attribute. Well, I have two fires. I'm gonna get rid of both of them by linking them off into the water, and then you learn you can't do that.
Right, because you can't attempt to summon something other than a fire.
And then that has to get explained, and it's a lot for a new player. That's fair.
Yeah. What is the best card of the format, and why is it Curry Card Div Incarnate? So
because everything on field activates.
I am Div Incarnate pilled right now. I'm pretty convinced that is actually one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, which is crazy because I fought tooth and nail to say that card was bad for the longest.
I do feel bad about getting rid of the one copy I pulled.
Yeah.
That being said, I've been incarnated like that once, and all they got was my Baron, and then they stole the Baron from me. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Do you think Gold Pride will be competitively viable with the new support coming in Cyberstorm Access?
I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, I think it will definitely be viable. I think it's definitely a playable deck, especially with a punk engine.
Oh yeah, especially with that with the new cards that they're getting with Rollerballer and again, because then that means they can just non-targeting, non-destruction remove stuff off the field
Yeah.
in a way that doesn't get them any sort of bonus effects. It's wild.
Yeah. Do we expect Relinquish, Thousand Eyes Restrict, Millennium Eyes Restrict, and potentially others to be errated into the Illusionist typing?
No.
I agree. I don't think that we'll see any of these get errated because it's not. We could get retrains of them.
Definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a Toon Eyes Restrict or something.
Yeah.
And it was and it was one of the new illusions.
Yeah, I just don't see other cards getting errated into Illusionist because they didn't do it with Psychic. They didn't do it with Worm. They didn't do it with Cybers.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they didn't have a huge backlog of cards that were essentially designed into this typing.
Or at one point in the game's history, we're just straight up that typing like in the video games.
Sure. I mean, to me, the video games aren't really canon. I see the video games as very, like, completely random offshoots that basically don't exist in my mind.
Especially the early ones.
Yeah, they literally made no sense.
So, like, a lot of the mechanics of the games that didn't make sense became because they were still really figuring out how Yu-Gi-Oh! The game itself was supposed to function. So, like, the super early ones where you rub two cards together to fuse was them still trying to figure out they wanted a fusion mechanic, but they didn't know exactly how to do it.
It was all because the video games, and I'm sure you know this because I feel like I've brought this up on the podcast before. The video games, the card game, and the show were all given the same objective of here's this cool card game from a manga. Yeah. Make it work.
Yeah, and then
they all had to come up with their own rule sets.
And then neither the three shall meet.
Yeah, and then none of the development teams ever were given access to the other teams.
Yeah,
so they never communicated and talked about how things would work.
Yeah, so that way you know the video games are like, hey, how does the fusion? I know y'all have a fusion mechanic. How does it work?
Yeah.
Instead of just rubbing. To be fair, the rubbing two cards together is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because then you'll just be like, I'm just gonna throw these cards away. Oh my god, they made something cool.
Yeah, I think it's because the TV show and the manga had polymerization that we don't have that.
But also, yeah, definitely. And then like also, just how wild the anime got sometimes.
Yeah, it did get crazy.
Also, the field giving 30% bonuses.
Yeah.
Why?
What are some rogue decks that you think would be worth looking into this format? I think that there's a couple of decks that are really underrated right now that are just not getting looked at all.
What's that?
Or not to the extent that they should be anyway. Do you have any?
Not particularly. None I can think of off the top of my head, no.
A deck that I've been wanting to assemble, but I put too many resources into other decks, so I haven't had the chance, is Libromancer Makonko.
Oh, ritual based, yeah.
Yeah, that deck is super sick.
It is. It's so cool.
And another deck that I haven't had the time to really sink my teeth into yet is the oh my goodness, it was in my head just a moment ago. I had the deck in my head. Punk. Just various different Punk engines.
Yeah.
Punk Sword Soul, Punk Gold Pride, Punk Kashtira, I think are all very, very cool decks. So is there an episode of Phineas and Ferb that stands out to you?
To me?
Yeah.
Not really. I didn't really watch a lot of that because by the time the show came out, I was already far out of there.
I don't want to hear it. You were a huge fan of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. You were a huge fan of, all of the Cartoon Network shows at that time. I don't want to hear it.
So the Cartoon Network shows at that time were running...
Adventure Time.
Yeah, we're running before that. And the MLP thing was because everyone else in the friend group was like, I have nothing better to watch right now. Sure.
Okay.
Ended up liking it.
I am not judging you for it. I'm just saying that you watched kids programming at that time.
Yes.
So you can't say that this show came after you did that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's
Yeah.
you know,
So it was just kind of outside of that.
circle that you watched.
Yeah.
I like the one where they build a roller coaster, which is like one of the first episodes, but it's a good episode.
I have seen that one. That one is wild.
Do you have a favorite Ghibli movie?
Oh, why'd you ask me that?
I do.
I have a tie, unfortunately.
Okay, what's your tie?
Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite.
For me, the reason why Spirited Away is because it's the first one I saw.
I haven't seen any other Ghibli movie.
Just Howl's Moving Castle?
Just Howl's Moving Castle,
Oh.
which is a crazy one to have the only one that you've seen.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen Spirited Away, obviously, and I've also seen Porco Rosso. Or Porco Rosso.
I want to watch them all. I haven't gotten them on my list.
They're on my list. The rest of them are on my list to either watch and or rewatch. I also really enjoyed the video game.
I haven't played the video game.
Ni no Kuni.
Yeah.
Ni no Kuni is so. I haven't played Ni no Kuni 2, but Ni no Kuni 1 Wrath of the White Witch was so cool. Gorgeous.
Next, what does the inside of a black hole look like? Your mom.
Man, I was getting prepared to go on a scientific rant.
No, it doesn't really have an inside, like...
If you were to somehow get into a black hole and not die immediately from the spaghettification, you would see the spaghettification of everything around you.
Anyway,
Yeah,
can you
it's
name all
weird.
the archetypes introduced in the Albaz lore? Albaz,
Yeah.
which is just Despia, I guess.
Well, no.
Dogmatica. Okay, Dogmatica, Despia, Sword Soul, Ice Jade,
Spriggan.
Spriggan, and Sprite.
Therian.
Therian, that's a good one. That's 7.
Yeah.
That might be all of them.
Not including Albaz, because the Albaz is like...
Tri-Brigade.
Tri-Brigade as well. Because Albaz, quote unquote, is Albaz and his fusions.
Yeah, which I would just call Despia.
But it's not part of Despia. Also, Drusworm and
Bestial?
Bistials and the Bistials.
Are they part of the... Yeah, I guess they are, yeah.
The Bistial Eluber is one of their cards.
Yeah, the Bestial Lubellion.
Yeah.
Should Yu-Gi-Oh! Have set rotation?
At this point, I think it's too late.
Yeah, I don't think you can have set rotation at this point. And also, Yu-Gi-Oh! Not having set rotations is one of my favorite parts.
It both is and isn't. It is because then you can just all of a sudden this old card from a decade ago just crops up as being really good for no reason. It is hilarious. But also, yes, because then that exact same thing, because then that card gets really expensive, especially if it's a card that's required to play a deck. Like a Resonance Insect and
Bee Trooper.
And Bee Trooper.
Yeah. Can you read Toy Vendor? Yeah, I can.
We have.
Yeah. Why is Fluffle the most based combo deck ever? Because it's funny.
What's not to love about it?
Yeah. What do you want? Who do you want the Saints to draft in the first round? I'll be honest, I don't know all of the rookies this year as well as I should. I'm good mostly with our offense. I'm fine with an offensive lineman. Honestly, we probably should take a defensive lineman because we need defensive linemen right now. So I'd take a defensive lineman or a cornerback or a linebacker or a safety. Anybody on defense, really. I'll take any defensive player. It's not flashy, but I'll take it. What meme has come full circle for you? Was funny, got annoying, then fell back in love with it?
Huh.
I don't have an answer for this one. This is all you.
Yeah, I got to think about this one. This one's a tough one.
Okay, I'll let you think about it, and we'll circle back around to it.
Yeah.
What do you do to stay sane when you're driving long distances to all those regionals, etc.? So Caleb sleeps while I drive, and then I think about which shots I want to get for the vlogs, and then I wake Caleb up to get the shots.
Yeah.
And when we're not doing that, I call people and talk on the phone. Usually Giant Skyhawk. Shout out to you, Giant Skyhawk. You the goat.
Yeah.
Meme?
I would probably have to say the "let me do it for you" meme with the Borzois.
I don't know that one.
Let me do it for you. No?
Yeah.
It's
I think mine is the original memes, like the Rage comics.
oh god, that's going way back.
Yeah, I know, but like like now when I see them, I'm like, haha.
So like the Borzoi thing started off as like someone doing an impression of Miss Piggy.
Uh-huh.
And then they put it to a Borzoi, which are just weird looking dogs, and I was like, okay, now they're just making fun of the dogs. And then I saw the dog, and I was like, okay, now I love it again because because the Borzoi breed is amazing.
Yeah. Can you make unban list roulette a staple of ban list season? Probably not, because it takes a lot of work.
We'd have to build a roulette wheel and then
It takes
spin it.
Well, it's not even that. It's that it takes a lot of time to edit those videos together now that we do
Yeah.
them in an actual video.
Yeah.
If Konami decided to add ritual monsters to the extra deck, would it be enough to make them great again? Assuming they have added the necessary card decks on every card to include that they now reside in the extra deck and allowed 20 cards to be in the extra deck, as long as 5 of them are rituals. Yeah, rituals would be the best
Yeah.
type, like the best summoning mechanic in that.
Yeah, no,
instance.
because I mean, yeah, it would destroy Ben 10, but because then she would lose her primary thing of being attributed in the hand and get her effect off.
Yeah, but so many other ritual decks that have been
But-
bad over the years would have an
Yeah.
immediate amount of increased consistency.
Oh yeah, not only that, all the ritual monsters.
The first comment, Ben 10 just got nerfed to infinity and beyond.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which but then like all the ritual monsters that were produced much later in the game's history are balanced around the fact that that your odds of actually summoning them are slim.
Yeah.
So they're harder to summon, but their effects are way more powerful than would be normal out of a normal extra deck monster.
Right. What show from your childhood do you wish had aged better?
Fighting Foodons.
Mine is Code Lyoko.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. That aged gracefully.
The animation did not.
The animation did not.
The show itself is still good, but like
it was one of the earliest computer-generated TV shows.
yeah, but like all of the computer-generated TV shows from that era did not age well.
Yeah, but I think of them, Code Lyoko easily aged the best because
It
they
did.
went for more style than trying to make things look cool.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Also, Drake and Josh. I wish that one aged better. That wasn't one of your shows. That was one of mine.
Yeah.
What if you could have 5 in the extra deck, but as many as you want in the main deck? Kill me now. I would not play this game.
No, a lot of decks would be unplayable.
Yeah.
'Cause I think there are decks that have more than 5 different extra deck monsters.
There are. All right. We've just got a couple minutes.
Yeah.
What decks are you interested in that are about to be released? I'm interested in the Super Heavy Samurai stuff that's about to be released.
Yeah, I'm interested in Super Heavy Sam. I'm kind of interested in Manadome just because it looks cool.
Yeah.
But the biggest deck I'm interested in now, because of Rollerballer and Pinball or whatever, is Gold Pride.
Fair. How do you choose a deck to play in the format? Is it based off of how fun it is to play or more off its meta viability? Yes.
I'll take option C, all of the above, but
Yeah.
also price.
Yeah, I want a deck that is somewhat affordable as well as very strong within the meta and also fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would it take for going second deck to be considered good in the current meta?
Bless you.
Excuse me. Being able to search nib on turn 0 without your
Yeah.
opponent being able to stop you.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally just going, literally a hand trap that's just during your opponent's standby phase. Discard this card and add Nibiru, the primal being, to your hand. Your opponent cannot respond to this effect.
Exactly.
It's the only way.
Now that Gate Guardian support is here, what other old archetypes would you like to see get new support? I think it'd be pretty cool to see like some older archetypes that were never like super meta relevant get support. I'd like to see Tri-Brigade support. I'd like to see Sword Soul support.
Bro, here I am over here thinking stuff like, yo, I want to see some alien support.
I would.
I
Alien
wanna-
support. Alien support would be sick.
I want to abuse Alien Mother.
Yeah. I would like to see
Just drop a
ideally some Gear support. Machina support. Please give me Machina support. That's not just Earth Machine.
Just
please.
drop a Cosmic Horror Gangiel. Let's go, bro.
Yeah.
Flying Saucer, Moaki.
Okay. So let's go ahead and thank all of our wonderful patrons. Oh, and if you want to be able to ask mailbag questions the next time we do a mailbag episode,
Get in the Discord.
get in the Discord server. That's
Bruh.
that's where we go to ask.
Do it.
So a huge thank you to all of our patrons. One Piece, but it's just me looking for something I had lost 5 minutes ago. Cam Yang, Kane, Martin, Zyphorus, Cards, Goetia, Earth Machine, Best. Did you like that one?
That was great.
Earth Machine, Best Deck, Epi. Has anyone actually read Toy Vendor, HGH Cyber? I am McLincoln. If all you have is a Cosmic, then every problem looks like a floodgate. John Leal, Monstertron, Mountain Man, Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado, Seto Kawaiba, Silver Hopes, Unbanned number 95, Konami. Understanding and reading are two different things. Virtually Savior's World, Rogue, and Tier 2 are the polite terms for bad deck. Aaron Gardner, Asami, Ashlish Chaps, Atsuyo, Simp of the Silver Castle, Blackwing Silver in the Ascent is the best floodgate. Box Wine, come on and get your game on. Duty Booty, Dragon Maidenless Behavior, Dragon Maid Stun Zed, I'm about to wreak a glamour to of your crosties plant nuts in your mouth. Cam, the Hockey Walkie Slush Mixer, Old Man Red, pin code 143, slaking it up, and Valent Ojo Mama. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the podcast. And of course, until next time, have a great week, everybody.
Take care, everyone.